Hello everyone, welcome to A Moment with Doc B. Yes, that's me, Doc B. I'm Dr. Sylvia Willie Burgess with One Step at a Time Consulting. And today I wanted to talk to you about something that we're all familiar with, and that's failure. So I want to begin by asking you a question. What do you do when failure happens? Because you do know that bad things happen to good people, right? Well, failure is like an iceberg. Most of us just see the tip of what's happening, but you know that most of the danger is really underneath the surface where you can't see. This is why sometimes we find ourselves asking our own self the question, I did not think it could get this bad, or why is it this bad? So when failure happens, you need to discover who you are in that moment of failure. And you must recognize your own personal self-worth and your own values while you're dealing with that failure. You know, your personal self is what makes you who you are in times of failure. But it doesn't mean that that's what you are. Think about that for just a moment. So the next thing when we're dealing with failure, we want to know, well, what does all this mean? Well, it depends on how you evaluate the situation. You can use different lenses to evaluate failure, why it happened, what you could have done differently, and so forth and so on. But your reaction to the situation is really going to matter the most, because that will determine how you decide to deal with the situation. The next thing we want to know is, well, what's going to be the outcome of all of this? Well, that answer lies in your skill and your will and your own personal self and your actions that you choose to take in the midst of that situation. I want you to take a moment and let those things rest in your mind. Now, you should view failure as temporary, because the situation will not last forever. No matter how tough it is or no matter how serious it is, it's still temporary. We need to hold on to our own personal optimism in light of the fact that we're going through a tough time. You have to believe that you will come out of the situation. Otherwise, you will be stuck in a quagmire and never get out of the situation. And then don't allow failure to spill over into all areas of your life. Just because you happen to be failing in one place, it doesn't mean that you're a complete failure in everything. You know, sometimes you might say, for example, well, I have failed in this situation and not I'm a complete failure in life. Do you see the difference between those two things? Right, absolutely. So failure is not an opportunity for you to soak yourself in self-blame and never be able to move your own needle in a positive direction. It's really an opportunity for you to go through the struggle, of course, which we all have to go through sometimes, but also come out on the other side through your own strength, your own will, and the support of those around you who care about you. Don't try to be a lone ranger. Sometimes when we're in a space of failure, we want to do it by ourselves because we're ashamed, we feel vulnerable, and we don't want other people to know. Sometimes the best method for you is to tell somebody who can help you and support you through the process. So I view failure as a challenge. And yes, I have failed a number of times in my life, but each time I've tried my best to view it as a challenge and not as a representation of who I am in life. And I also view it as an opportunity for growth. You know, so I take what I've learned and I move forward with it. And I do try my best not to repeat the same mistakes a second or a third time around, because that meant that I didn't learn as much as I should have learned from that situation at that time. So it's important that you take personal control of your failures and not let your failures take control of you. And also keep in mind that in the face of failure, ask yourself, are you helping or hindering your process in moving your needle forward? Always remember, if you fail, fail forward. Hi everybody, This is Dr. Sylvia Willie Burgess with One Step at a Time Consulting. I wanted to take a moment and share some exciting news with you. One Step is hosting a leadership conference entitled Leading With and Through, Fostering a Sense of Belonging. The dates are April 11th through the 12th of 2024. Mark your calendars with the save the date. You do not want to miss this exciting conference. The goal of our conference is to help leaders to use a lens of equity, diversity, and inclusion to boost and to foster good leadership and promote a sense of belonging in their organizations and in their spaces. You know, the social justice challenges that we're facing right now are often compounded and complicated by the lack of constructive leadership in this space. Can we do better? Absolutely. So, join us for this amazing conference, and let me share a not so much secret with you now. The keynote speaker for this conference is Dr. Robert Livingston. Yes, did I say Dr. Robert Livingston? I did. He is the author of The Conversation, world-renowned author and lecturer and speaker. He hails from Harvard, and we are excited that he has agreed to speak at our conference, and we know that your life will not be the same when you sit and you hear what this amazing person has to offer. So again, mark your calendars, April 11th through the 12th, 2024, Leading With and Through, Fostering a Sense of Belonging Conference.